Today, we're going to talk about one of the most important and sometimes most nerve-wracking parts of submitting your novel, the query letter.
Yes, the query letter is the first impression you make with an agent, publisher or reviewer, so it's worth getting it right.
Okay, first things first, what is a query letter exactly? Is it just a cover letter for your novel?
A query letter is a one-page professional pitch that introduces your novel and you as a writer. Its job is to get the recipient interested enough to want to read more. So yes, it's like a cover letter, but it has a strong marketing element to it.
So what do I need to include? Like plot details, my entire author life story?
No, keep it short and sharp. A good query letter includes a hook to grab the reader's attention. Basically the kind of a description you'd have on the back cover. Then you have the manuscript details, so the title, the genre, the word count and the target audience. Mm-hmm. A short author bio, which is relevant writing experience or background. And a closing that invites the recipient to request the manuscript. And that's it. No full synopsis, no chapter summaries, and definitely no life stories.
But what if I have a really cool reason why I wrote the book, like a unique selling point sort of thing? Should I include that?
Only if it is directly relevant to the book or the pitch. If your lived experience connects to the story in a way that strengthens it, then you could mention it briefly, but avoid long explanations. The focus is on the book, not on your journey.
Yeah. That's fair enough. So what kind of tone should I go for? Should it be creative and fun or more formal?
Professional and respectful, but with a touch of your own voice, right? You don't want to come across as too casual or too robotic, and no gimmicks. Right? Just clear, polished writing that shows confidence without arrogance.
Okay. Let's talk about the hook. We're always hearing about crafting a good hook. So for a query letter, what exactly should that sound like?
Well, think of it like your back cover blurb. So you introduce the main character, you name the central conflict, you add the stakes, what they stand to gain or lose, and you keep it short, no more than a paragraph. You want to intrigue, not explain the whole plot.
Got it. So after the hook, I just say what the book is. Something like, insert title here is a completed 90,000 word literary fantasy for adult readers in the vein of Neil Gaiman and Ursula Le Guin.
Yes, that's right. Perfect. Exactly that kind of thing. And you kind of expect to see that if in a query letter.
So would you always say in the style of and quote other writers?
Not necessarily.
So you don't have to do that?
No, but you say the genre, the title, and the word count, and
to give a clear sense of the genre, audience, and
the
tone.
word count is really important.
Yeah,
never miss the word count. If you get a submission and it's got 470,000 words, you immediately know you've got a problem. It's like, oh, here's an author who's not really done their basic research. How many words make a novel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you're giving a clear sense of the genre, the audience, and the tone of the book.
Yeah.
As well as the specific details of word count.
Yeah.
What if I don't have any writing awards or a publishing history and I'm a first-time writer? What do I put in my bio then?
That's totally fine. Just include anything relevant, writing courses you've taken, professional experience in your business life, for instance, that relates to the book. A sentence about your location or your passion, if it ties into your writing voice or theme. But, say something about yourself, even if you haven't done much writing. And you just present yourself as a writer who's serious about their writing, basically.
And should I personalise it and say why I'm sending it to this specific publisher or agent?
Yeah, definitely. A short sentence like, I'm contacting you because you publish character-driven speculative fiction, shows you've done your homework, shows you've actually read the website. Never send a blanket query with no personalisations. Publishers and agents want to know that you've picked them for a reason.
They don't want copy and paste.
No, they want to avoid wasting their time looking at a submission and later find out that the author was never really that interested in publishing with them. The worst thing you can do is just, send a submission in and just see what happens, but you don't know anything about the publisher. because it just wastes everybody's time.
Yeah. Yeah, don't waste your time, don't waste the publisher's time. But do I really need to read all the submission guidelines? Like, aren't they all the same?
You mean
they're so long?
You mean everybody wants Times Roman 12 point with a 1.5 or double spacing? Yes, but though there are, certain things that different publishers all tend to agree on, the submission processes are not all the same. Every agent or publisher has their own process that suits the way their editorial team works. So you do actually need to read those submission guidelines thoroughly. If they say paste the first 1,000 words, don't attach your document. If they say don't send attachments, don't send attachments. Following their guidelines shows that you're professional and respectful and that you have actually read the website. And if you send something to a mainstream publisher that doesn't follow guidelines, they'll just delete it. I reply with an email that simply says, please follow our submission guidelines. Because I don't want to see the whole manuscript. I need to see just the first bit, because from seeing the first bit, I can make an instant decision about whether it needs a manuscript appraisal or not. I don't have to open an attachment and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all you have to do in our case is fill in a form.
Right.
So
it really is that important then?
Yeah, it's really important because, wading through something that doesn't actually have the information that I want included and then having to ask for it wastes my time. And in our case, all you have to do is fill in a form. So if you don't do that, it really shows you haven't read the submission page, and that gives a really bad impression.
Yeah, it's a matter of respect as well. Like, you respect the publisher's time by taking the time to read their submission guidelines.
Right.
Like, it's a definite no-no.
Yeah, and then you know what the publisher is about, and then you know whether they're going to be right for you,
So not reading or following submission guidelines is a definite no-no. What else sends up red flags for you?
The top ones?
Yeah, just keep it simple.
Okay, well, obviously typos and sloppy formatting.
Yep.
Overhyping the book, like calling it the next Harry Potter. Right? It's like sending a full manuscript without being asked, or sending anything extra like media kits or press releases. Sometimes they get a whole package of stuff. And
Yeah,
it's like
too much stuff.
Yeah, and they haven't actually given me what I want. It's like, hey, you haven't told me what genre it is or how many words. Okay. Being too vague or too long, trying to be cute or catchy, right? Including your suggested cover design. Believe me, it's probably terrible and will do your book a disservice. Sending anything that sounds like an AI-generated sales pitch. Basically, you need to keep it clear, polished, and short.
Yeah, and given this is essentially a low-key sales pitch, you do want it to sound like you're writing, not AI writing. So what does an AI-generated sales pitch sound like? And what's wrong with using AI in this situation?
Yeah, so a written AI output is very generic in style. It dots all the I's and crosses all the T's, but it doesn't sound like anyone in particular. And remember that how you write your query is how the publisher, agent or reviewer assumes that you'll write. So you really want to use your own words. Slick isn't always better. Personality is important. And these are publishing professionals you're submitting to. They are the people most likely to pick up AI writing, and they don't want to read a submission that might be written by AI. So really, don't risk it.
Yeah. Okay, last question. Should I follow up if I haven't heard back?
Generally, only if you didn't get an email acknowledging receipt of the submission. Right? You really need to allow the publisher time to process your submission, and it can take months for larger publishers to get back to you. But check their website. Many will list response times. If it's been, say, 8 to 12 weeks and they allow follow-ups, a polite nudge is okay, but never be demanding. Right? Publishing can be a slow process, and sometimes silence just means no.
Yeah.
I would never just give silence. I think it's so rude.
I know. It's like giving this thing into the abyss and then getting nothing. It's really like job hunting. It's awful.
Yeah, it's not kind to people.
No.
So I will always reply.
Yeah.
So if you don't hear back from me saying I've got your book, then by all means just check that your form came through.
Yeah. Sometimes these get lost in inboxes.
But once you know that it's been received, it's better not to you know, 2 weeks later say, hey, have you read my thing yet?
Yeah.
So I think, oh, just get off
People
my
are busy.
Yeah, I'll get onto it when I've got time.
Okay, so essentially the aim is to keep it simple, professional, and focused, and brief.
Yeah.
Not too long.
Yeah. I mean, your query letter is your book's first handshake, so you want to make it a good one.
Right, not too firm or too sloppy, just like the right, really good pressure of handshake. I've taken the metaphor way too far.
Oh, I don't know.
Like that kind of it. Except it was weird because we're sitting next to each other.
Anyway. Not sweaty. It wasn't.
Cold in here.
No, it wasn't sweaty. It's all right. It's fine. You don't have sweaty.
Don't write a sweaty handshake cover letter. I don't know what that means.
If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And if you want more tips on writing and publishing, subscribe for new videos every 3 weeks.
And visit the blog on alkirapublishing.com for a written version of this video and other resources, editing help and submission information for our publishing company. Link in the description.
Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.
Bye.